Hey yo, what's up? What's going on? This is Dre E. This is the Minority Report, and we're here to talk about a few things, a few shout outs. I need to get out the way first. So, first shout out is going to go out to Andre Quinn Apparel, AQ, AQE, Andre Quinn Entertainment, Andre Quinn Apparel, A-List Elite Styling. All right, y'all, I'm here. For those of you guys who've been following me on Instagram, I am King Dre. Ask Coach Dre as well. That's the new page. I'm a life coach. I'm a dating coach, relationship coach, whatever you want to call it. That's what qualifies me. Well, honestly, just life qualifies me. Been through a few things, seen a few things, know a few people, and did a stint with Match.com on the dating side to, get all of that, which is pretty much all already what I was doing as far as my life coaching is concerned. Because I don't know if you guys know that, but 90% of people's problems come from relationships that they have, and I'm not talking about relationships just like husband and wife. I mean, yeah, husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend. I'm talking about relationships like father and child, mother and child, brother and sister, cousins, those type of relationships, just relationships in general. So most people's anxiety, depression, and things of that nature they come from relationships. So life coaching is pretty much, at least my aspect of life coaching has to deal a lot with relationships and personal growth and personal accountability as well. So with all that being said, I put out yesterday on my social media platforms, mainly on Instagram, asking the females some questions and things that they would like to ask men going forward, and just going forward, just in relationships and things of that nature. So I compiled a list of some questions, but the number one question I guess most people want to know nowadays is how to date in this new, I guess you could say, new era of dating, which is not really too much new anymore. But I have to say this: a lot of people are trying to date. Well, let's just say I'm 41 years old. Okay, so I'm 41 years old, and a lot of my peers are still trying to date off of how we began dating. Basically, what I'm trying to say is they're trying to use the 1996 to 2000, 2002 rules of dating currently in 2019 and 2020. Those days are far gone. Now, I'm not saying that you can't find someone with those same morals and same things, but the thing about it is in here in 2019, a lot of people are jaded. That's both men and women. Men and women, they're just jaded when it comes to dating, and most of our dating nowadays is done online via dating sites like Match.com, Tinder, Bumble, what else? Now Facebook dating. What else they got out there? Just all eHarmony, everything. There's some other ones that I can't recall, but y'all get the gist of what I'm saying. So basically, all of our dating nowadays is done online. So with that being said, there's just new rules to this shit, and either we're gonna adapt and abide by it, or we're just gonna get passed by. So the first thing we're gonna tackle is, when it comes to online dating, what your profile should actually look like. Okay, so like I said, I got some information. Not a lot of it. I mean, a lot of this information was really done on my own research, just from being on online dating, and my friends being on online dating, family members being on online dating, and just having discussions about online dating. And then I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the stuff that I learned from Match.com has prepared me for this conversation as far as online dating is concerned. Because while I was with them and doing my stint with them, you could Google me, look up in Match.com. What do you call them? What do you call them things? Oh my goodness. the thing where you leave your comments and whatever that's called. Go look in that. And like I said, you can see my 5-star ratings on how good I was coaching and all things of that nature. I like to say that because, I like to brag about that. So, but it's real. So while I was with Master.com, though, like I said, I got to talk to a lot of people, both men and women from all over the world, actually, because when I started there, we was talking to people from Canada. I had some people from overseas calling, and then they opened up the lines to here in the U.S. So I got to talk to people from New York, all the way to California, to Alaska, Hawaii as well, and just like I said, all throughout the U.S. So I have a pretty good idea of what I'm talking about when it comes to this online dating thing. So first things you guys will want to know is about the profile. Now, in your profile, you guys got to have 3 main pictures up. Three main pictures. That is a selfie, the regular selfie of you, just, the regular, there you go, selfie. Now, the next picture is going to be a selfie of you smiling, because people want to see if you have teeth. That's just the way it is. You got to have that smiling picture. People are going, because if you don't have that smiling picture, that's a red flag in a lot of people's eyes. Now, and the next picture is the full body picture. Now, when it comes to the full body picture, it says, that's just what it is. Especially when it comes to women. Women love to take 30 million selfies of their face from every damn angle out there, and they don't want to show a full body picture. Now, I've heard from my female friends, I heard from females that I've talked to, that I've done research about, and they say, well, we don't want to draw the wrong type of guy to ourselves, because then I start getting all types of derogatory messages and things of that nature. Understandable. However, I just never understood how, if you're on a dating site, why you don't have a full body picture, why you don't have a picture of you smiling, or why you don't have a picture at all, which is beyond crazy to me. And it's like they want to be able to pick and judge on who they want to talk to, but they don't want people to be able to see all of them. I don't know if they're trying to be mysterious about it, but bottom line is that shit doesn't work. And you're going to attract the wrong dudes regardless if there's a full body picture or not. That's just the way it is. So those 3 types of pictures, the selfie of you smiling, and the full body picture. Those are the only 3 pictures you need on a dating profile, period. Now, you could add more and you could have more. The ones you should try to stay away from is all the pictures in the group pictures, especially if you're not going to identify who you are in the group picture. It's kind of dumb as shit, to be honest with you. I mean, how you going to have a group of you and your homegirls or a group of you and your homeboys and never really identify who you are in not one single particular picture? It's stupid. It defeats the purpose. And I'm saying this because I've seen this over and over and over and over and over again. You would think like, well, shit, no shit, Dre, that's a no-brainer. Yeah, you would think that, yes, that's a no-brainer, but clearly it's not, because people still put these types of pictures up there, the whole group photo, and even their profile picture is a group photo, and sometimes they don't even zero in on themselves. It's just a group photo. So try to steer away from that. Try to have all your pictures taken outdoors. It's something about natural light that people just gravitate to, and it's more inviting to them. So those are the 3 types of pictures. All your pictures should be taken outdoors with natural lighting, because like I said, it's more inviting to people. Now, when it comes to your profile, it should be pretty short and to the point. 2 to 3 sentences saying something about you, things that you're interested in, and then leave it at that. Because the whole idea of a dating profile is to get people to engage in conversation with you. So if you write out your whole biography in your what do you call that your bio, whatever you want to call it, then what does how does that intrigue anyone to come talk to you? How does that make anyone want to engage with you if they've already read everything on there? And then you got to understand the day and age we're in. We're in an era to whereas everybody wants everything quickly. Everybody wants everything quickly. They want to consume everything quickly. So if you got this whole damn dissertation laid out, no, they're not even reading all that. I promise you, especially guys. I know for sure. I talk to my fellas. No, they're never reading that. They're not going to read that. It just and that's just the way it is. So keep that to a minimum. Now, you shouldn't be talking about your kids on your dating profile. You really shouldn't have pictures of your kids on dating profiles. Period. It just should not happen. People, you got to understand, you're there to hopefully date someone of the opposite sex, same sex, whatever it is you date. You're here to date that person. You're not here to date their kids or find out about their kids. That's just a very dangerous game that a lot of you guys play when it comes to online dating. It's just a very dangerous game. So stay away from the kids. Stay away from the questions about kids because it gets creepy. Yeah, hey, how many kids you got and all that good stuff. That's all fine and dandy and everything. But a lot of people, they don't want to, no, stay away from it. It's just like I said, it's nowadays, people to make that very creepy nowadays. Don't ask nothing about my daughters. I'm not asking nothing about your kids. I don't care. I'm trying to get to know you at least for the first few months. And if you mention your kids through conversation or I mention mine through conversation, it is what it is. Kudos to you, kudos to me, whatever, but keep it moving. Stop with all the pictures of your kids. Some of y'all got your kids. Some of y'all have your kids on your profile with the name of with the school uniform, with the name of the school on the uniform. That's bogus. That's crazy. That's just dangerous. Period. Y'all got to get away from all that. I mean, sometimes we overshare things, especially, why would you overshare all of this information with people you have not even met yet? As a father myself, I try to make sure that stuff is tucked away as secure as possible. Even now with Facebook, I have mostly my family and my friends on my Facebook, people who genuinely know me. And I've fallen back from posting pictures of my daughters on my social media because it's crazy out there. So that's just some advice. You want to put your kids on your social media, do whatever the hell you want to do. Okay. So that's that. So that's online dating. Now, the problem is with this whole online dating thing is, like I said earlier, a lot of us are just jaded from just from dating, online dating in general. We run into a lot of, from the women's side of things, it's a lot of guys lying about their height. I mean, I hear I hear that you gotta, if a guy tells you he's 6 foot, that pretty much means he's about 5'9". So you gotta subtract a couple of inches off of his height. You gotta, so guys lying about that. And mainly the number one thing I hear that guys lie about is height and social status, meaning that he's lying about the type of career he has, the type of job he has, or it's just, if he's living with his mom, if he's not living with his mom, things of that nature. A lot of, there's a lot of married men and women on dating sites as well. So, there's telltale signs. I'm not going to say there's telltale signs. And, I'm not want to be, giving away game and things of that nature, but you got to understand if this man can only, or this woman for that matter, can only hit you up during work hours and he or she never gives you an opportunity to meet themselves after hours or on the weekends and things of that nature. I mean, you might want to smarten up and pay more attention. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that he's married or he has a girlfriend or he or she has a husband or a boyfriend. I'm just saying that's things you need to pay attention to, because shit happens. I mean, all the time. So I just think that a lot of people are on dating sites, and honestly, from just my life coach clients, the people that I've talked to, my dating coach clients, a lot of the clients I had when I was at Match.com, and just family and friends. I mean, a lot of people are just lying about everything. And that's the thing that's bad about social media. The thing about that's bad about social media is people get to present themselves in a manner in which they wish they can be. Don't get me wrong, there's some people on social media who are authentic and real as they come. And that's them. But there's people out there who who just fabricate their whole life. And I honestly believe that they forget that there's some motherfuckers out there who know them in real life. Like, yo, dude, I know you, or yo, shorty, I know you. And like in real life, that's not what's going down. So we got to understand that here in this social media era, just a lot of fabrication, a lot of false narratives, a lot of just fake everything. And that's unfortunate because it makes it hard for people who are real and have real intentions to maneuver through all the bullshit that's going on in today's society, especially when it comes to dating and relationships. Okay, so back to the dating, the lies and number one lies that both men and women tell. Like I said, with guys, it's usually about social status and with and height. Women, they have a tendency to they catfish a hell of a whole lot. And I'm not saying that men don't either. I'm not saying that men don't either, but it's very, very prevalent when it comes to women. And honestly, man, I may be a little biased. I may be just speaking, from a man's perspective. But honestly, man, I just think it's a lot harder for men to date, especially online date, than women. Now, I know that that's going to give me a lot of probably hate mail from females and things of that nature. But it's I can't even say it's my opinion. It's a natural fact. Like, I've always had a problem, me, myself personally, speaking on my own personal experience. It's just in dating in general. I mean, all the way back to high school, when none of this social media shit was around, and none of all these cameras and everything wasn't around, I really had a problem with girls at the time, young ladies at the time, wearing a lot of makeup, because I've always just wanted to see what you naturally look like. And in my opinion, natural beauty is by far the best beauty, period. That's just my opinion. Do your eyeliner and your lip gloss or whatever you want to call it. That's all fine and dandy, but that's how I prefer my women. So when I look at women, it's just one of those things. It's like, yo, I appreciate a woman's natural beauty, her natural body, her natural everything. I'm just a natural woman loving dude. That's just who I am. I think that women should have curves. I think that women have stretch marks. All of that. I'm with all of that. I'm with all of it. Natural women, in my opinion, are the best type of women. Now, that's not to shade anyone to say like, hey, if you get, your nails done and hair done and your eyebrows and you get yourself done up. I mean, I'm not knocking those either. I enjoy looking at those type of women as well. However, when it comes to online dating, it's a dangerous road. And that's why I always say that it's way harder for men to online date than it is for women, because at least with women, at least with men, you pretty much have a good idea of what that man looks like. Now with women, there's a lot of you out here, y'all. It's just one of those things to where y'all out here, y'all already wear makeup, which is cool. Some of you guys wear way more makeup than you need to wear. Okay, so and when you're wearing a lot of it, it's just caked up, and you can pretty much see the. My thing is, I guess if you're gonna wear all that makeup, learn how to apply it. I guess, because you can see the line from where it goes from whatever light is usually lighter to darker to lighter. You could just see the lines. It's almost like you're wearing a mask. So that's a bit much. I don't know. I'm not here judging nobody. Do what you do. That's what you love. If you like it, I love it, basically. But when it comes to this dating thing, you guys already wear makeup. And then you guys will get online, get to your Snapchat, put about 3 or 4 filters on it. You guys will put about 3 or 4 filters on top of the makeup. And then y'all got the lighting, and then y'all got your angles all worked out. And then on top of that, then after the makeup, the 3 or 4 filters, the angles, the lighting, then y'all will go throw the Photoshop, the whatever on it to give it that finishing touch. So it's just like a lot of my dudes, man, they're like, yo, Dre, man, I don't know who the hell's gonna show up. They're like, yo, Dre, I don't know who the hell's gonna show up to my date, right? And that's why I say it's just a lot harder. I had a homeboy, no lie, who showed up to a date and got to the parking lot, and then, you know, I guess him and his date got out of the car at the same time, and Shorty ended up being a dude, and he told he told me the only reason why he knew it was a dude because he looked at her. He said, yo, Dre, I looked at her hands and feet, and I was like, nah, yo, ain't no way in hell that's a woman. So he said he got back in his car, you know, pulled up the profile, and as he started to look and stuff, I mean, he realized at that point that it was a man. So, yo, it's just hard out here. Like, I believe in transparency in pretty much everything, man. Everything you should do, you should be transparent with it. So when it comes to this online dating, women, I mean, just be who you are, because it's easier for men and women to find someone who's attracted to them because of them, not who they think they are, not who the person portrays themselves to be. Now, another problem that a lot of people run into on these online dating things is I just never understood how people are on a dating app and don't have time to date. So it's like you're on a dating app, you're complaining about not being able to find a woman, not being able to find a man, but yet you don't have any time to put towards an actual conversation or an actual date. As I'm busy, a lot of women, you know, I'm busy with the kids. A lot of men, I'm busy at work. Then why in the hell are you on a dating site? So that's why it's crazy in a sense, to whereas a lot of people are just like, and it's funny because it's always the ones, I'm not here for a hookup. And when you get to try to talk to them, it's like, well, shit, that's the only thing you have time for is a hookup. You know what I mean? So it's just like, what are we doing here? It's like everybody out there is trying to play everybody. No one's being real about anything. It's just a crazy ordeal, period. It's just crazy out here. So for both men and women alike, but we have to get to a point to whereas we got to start being honest again. You know, we just got to start being honest again, you know. And I was having this conversation. We had this conversation back in my match days with I had a conversation with a few people, and I was telling them how it's wild out here for dudes, because especially gentlemen, and I'm talking about gentlemen. So like a gentleman, he's gonna meet up with a young lady. They're gonna go out to eat, you know, maybe dinner. Like I was telling this group of people that for a gentleman, a gentleman has it the worst out of everybody when it comes to this online dating shit, because you gotta actually pay for conversation, right? Now, what that means is we was raised right. So, you know, when we was taught, you know, we take a young lady out, we pay for, you know, dinner, we opening doors. But that's just a natural thing for a gentleman. Like there's some dudes out there, you know, some imposters out there, you know, who would do that shit just to impress you and then never open up a door, never pull out a seat again a day in his fucking life. But he did it for the meantime, just to impress you. We ain't talking about those dudes. We talking about like genuine gentlemen who was raised that way, opening doors, paying for dinners, just a gentleman. They have it the worst because every time they meet up with a woman, they gotta come out of pocket just to have conversation. Because if not, then the woman is going to look at him like, oh, he's a fucking loser because he didn't even pay for my dinner. Which is crazy, but let me let y'all in on a secret in some of this shit that a lot of women are out here doing, right? There's a lot of women out here who are strictly on dates for free meals and entertainment. All right? Hear me clearly. Free meals and entertainment. That shit's crazy. I mean, they'll talk to the dude, plan out with him, act like they're interested in him. The whole, the whole I'm interested in you. It's only you, blase, blase. You go out on a date with them, you take them to have a nice dinner. You guys might, do something afterwards, catch a movie, go bowling, whatever it is y'all do, right? And then as soon as that date is over with, they start acting funny. You know what I mean? All of a sudden now, every weekend or every day that they're supposed to meet up with you, the kids are sick or the dad didn't come through to pick up the kids on his weekend and blase, blase. And then, you just out... You out about in the city, minding your own business, and you see shorty out there on a date with somebody else, Another dude that, pretty much got suckered into, free meals and entertainment. And what I say by that is they really have no intention on ever going out on another date with you. They just out there free meals and entertainment. Every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, they out there getting their free meals and entertainment from suckers who gonna fucking, buy them some free food and entertainment, So I remember in Vegas way back in the day, man, the first time I was on online dating, shit got so, we did the calculations back then. We actually had a roundtable discussion about this shit because we was like, hey, let's do the math. If you, let's say you go on one date in Vegas at the time, and this is like 10 years ago, this is like back in 2009. At the time, 2009, the average date at the time was $120, $120. Like you go to dinner, right? You go to dinner, that's about, you get an appetizer, the main dish, and you might get dessert. 9 out of 10 times, you're not getting no dessert. But the appetizer and the dinner are going to cost you around 60 to 70 at the time. And then let's say, like I said, you go to the movies, movie tickets at that time was like, $15 a piece. That's another 30. So you already sitting at 80. So then you gotta buy popcorn and all that shit. So you easily at 100, 120. It was around 120 at the time. So you do that math. That's 120. Say it's a different girl every week for a month. That's 4 weeks. That's $480 thrown away because these women had no intentions on ever going on another date with you. You know what I mean? So you do that math, man, that's $480 a month. That's either half your rent, that's a car payment, for some people, that's car payment and insurance that you just threw away on some meaningless dates that the person you never even gonna see again. So it's rough out here on both ends. And like I hear a lot of complaints from women about guys, they don't have the time for them, and a lot of women it's mainly about the time. They don't have the time, or they're boring, or they're or the guy, like I said, or the guy shows up. Yes, don't get me wrong, I get it. There should be no lies, especially off the rip. You shouldn't be lying about anything. So a lot of guys out there that lie about their height. So a lot of women out there, they're expecting a guy to be 6 foot and he comes in, he's 5'10". But yes, that's a lie. But some women just can't get over it. And they're strict when it comes to that. But what I tell women all the time is like, let's be honest, man. If you, some women like, oh, I want to date a guy who's shorter than 6'2". You know, man, like, and I ask them, especially some of my clients, I ask them, well, they got this specific type of men that they date and they've been dating their whole life, and that shit hasn't worked out for them in 30 to 40 plus years. So my thing is like, when you gonna start doing something new? You know, when you gonna start trying something new? Your soulmate, your Prince Charming or whatever the hell you want to call them, could have been 5'10" this whole time, and you too busy passing them over because you're looking out for 6'2" dudes. You know, so we gotta get smarter about things of that nature. It's just like a lot of women like that, they're stuck on the specific type of guy and the specific type of man that they want to date. And like I said, they're just passing up a lot of dudes in the rankings, basically, because they don't meet the height requirement, or I don't know, he doesn't have flowing locks, he's a baldy, or all the superficial shit that people think of when it comes to dating. So the thing is, it's like this. On both ends of the spectrum, people are getting played, you know. Women are getting stood up, men are getting stood up, everybody's getting lied to. It's just like, that is what it is. Now, here's some advice that I have for you. Now, when it comes to online dating, you guys gotta stop the whole, I gotta talk to you for a week, 2 weeks, a month long before I meet you in person. Now, I'm telling you, I used to do that firsthand. I used to be one of them dudes, we're gonna wait about a week or two before I meet them. And then, you know, you're texting, you're talking on the phone, everything's good. But let me tell y'all something, man. There's no chemistry like in-person chemistry, because that chemistry, that energy does not lie. Like, you can have the best conversations via text, you can have the best conversations via the phone, but hey, and it's happened to myself and it's happened to a whole lot of other people. Oh, we got along great on the phone, and then I met him, and then this motherfucker may have a laugh that you don't like, you know what I mean? Or their hands might annoy you, or their mannerisms, or their energy just in general just may not match up with yours. And then the problem with that is you didn't spend 2 weeks of your time, your life, you know, texting and talking on the phone back and forth, and you meet them, and then you realize that you don't ever want to say another word to this person. As soon, matter of fact, you can't even wait to get up out of there because that person is so off-putting to you. Does that make sense? So we got to be smart about this, man. Like, I tell women all the time, I tell men all the time, I tell everybody all the time, the sooner you can meet that person, the less time you're going to waste on that person. Period. Because if the chemistry matches in person, then y'all could go on about your ways and ride off into the damn sunset. But if that person's a dud, then you could cut your losses immediately and go on about your business and put that effort towards someone else. So we got to stop all this. Oh, I got to wait 2 months. I'm 2 months. I'm sorry. I got to wait 2 weeks to a month before I meet up with the person because I'm busy and blah, blah, blah. Like I said, again, if you're on a dating site and you're too busy, and a lot of you guys say that, a lot of men and women say that I'm on a dating site because I'm too busy in my personal life to be out there on the scene or to find someone. So I'm on a dating site because this is a lot easier. And I understand that. However, you got to devote some of that time to your dating life if you want to have an actual dating life. And then a lot of you are so mixed up in the sense that, oh, you want a dating life, but like I said, you don't have the time to date. But then you get it confused when a guy or a girl is like just hitting you up at wee hours of the night because that's the only time you have to afford it to them. So then you're sending out all these mixed signals. Y'all got to chill, man. All that shit is whack. If you don't have time to date, you should not be on a dating site, period. That's all I'm saying for both men and women. Now, I'm going to get to a few questions that was asked to me yesterday when I post a question on my social media. How come some men have communication issues and withdrawal issues when they love a woman? So, why some men have communication issues and withdrawal issues when it comes to women? Honestly, a lot of men just don't know how to communicate with women. And shit, honestly, a lot of men just don't know how to communicate, period. Because men are taught not to be vulnerable, right? So when you're vulnerable, it makes a lot of men feel uneasy. You know what I mean? It makes a lot of men feel uneasy when it comes to talking about their emotions and relationships and things of that nature, because they were brought up, especially men my age and older than me, they were brought up to suppress those emotions, that men don't cry, men don't deal with emotions and things of that nature. So when it comes to communicating those things, it's honestly something they never ever fucking communicated before. So they really don't know how to communicate it, you know? And I'm not making an excuse for them, but with that being said, it's going to take some patience on your behalf, and it's going to take you to actually sit down with that person and I'm not saying pull it out of them, but you're going to have to pretty much coach them through those conversations that you want to have. And when it comes to withdrawal, and I can only speak for really on withdrawal. I can only speak for the Black community and pretty much the Latin community, because honestly, we're pretty much one and the same. I mean, y'all just speak Spanish and Black people don't for the most part. But when it comes to withdrawals and, from women or people close, a lot of minorities in general, hence the Minority Report, we've never seen what real love looks like in our households, so a lot of us have grown up in single mother homes, single parent homes, or some of us, like myself, we grew up partially in the system, group homes. We bounced around from relative to relatives, and some of us have been homeless, so we never really seen what real love looks like. And honestly, and this is for both men and women. This is not just a man thing, because a lot of women didn't grow up with their fathers in the household. So a lot of women have seen their mothers with different men throughout their lives and seen some of the worst relationships. And so they think all men are pretty much the same, or in the back of their mind, that's what stays with them. The very horrific, dramatic shit that their mothers experience from different men in their lives. That's what love looks like to them. You can't really have a clear view on love and shit if you really never really experience the type of love that they display in movies and romantic novels and shit, because that's honestly not like a lot of people's reality. So a lot of people are trying to just love someone based off of the things that that they've seen and how they've been taught to love. And a lot of us have not been taught to love correctly. And that's just the God's honest truth. That's both, like I said, that's both men and women. So when, and this honestly sucks to say, and it's kind of sad though, but when people are loving someone, or someone's loving a person who has not been loved correctly, it scares the person it scares that person, because they've never really even seen this shit before, and it's foreign to them, and honestly it's scary to them. So it's like a defense mechanism, to be completely honest with you. For a lot of people, it's a defense mechanism. They don't want to be hurt, or they're feeling things for a person that they never felt before. So it's kind of hard for them to take it all in. It becomes overwhelming to them. So they start to push back. So I hope that's answered your question. At least from my perspective, that's what that looks like. Why do men want you to be natural, but drool over the girls all dolled up in public? Um, yo, I mean, why? What does it say? Why do men want you to be natural but drool over all the girls who are all dolled up in public? Yo, I can't really answer that question, to be honest with you. I don't know what these dudes is doing out here, man. I told you in the beginning of this, me personally, I like naturally looking women, period. Um those type of men, I don't know. It's kind of a confusing question, because is he saying to you that he wants you to just, he doesn't want you, no, better yet, I can answer that question. I just had an epiphany. So that just stems from his insecurities, basically. You know what I mean? Of course he wants you all dolled up, but if you're his woman, honestly, he just doesn't want other men looking at you. So he'll tell you, hey, you ain't got to wear that, or you don't need to be all made up, or what you all made up for. And it's like I said, it's because he's insecure. That's just the bottom line. He's an insecure dude. He really can't handle a lot of men looking at you. But obviously, like you said, obviously when he's out in public, he's drooling over women who are all dolled up, but he wants you over there looking natural or plain Jane. That's just that's just his own insecurities. But do you, man? I mean, the thing about it is, insecurities, they have no place in relationships, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So get dolled up, man. Go out there and shit. Have him drool over you. If he's drooling over all these other women, yeah, hey, get dolled up. Get dolled up yourself. But I bet he's gonna have a problem with it. I bet that. So that's my advice on that. What does it take for them to stay in a committed relationship? It takes hard work. It takes hard work, and it takes communication. People think this shit is supposed to be a walk in the park, but relationships are just that. I mean, they're hard work. So that's something that both parties involved are always going to have to work on, because, like I said, it's just one of those things to whereas commitment and relationships, it's hard work. People think it's easy. I've honestly, man, I come from a good, my background is pretty good when it comes to relationships. Like most of all my friends from high school are still married to the high school sweethearts. But that shit was no walk in the park for no parties involved, for the wife or the husband. It's something that they had to work on, and it's been trials and tribulations. It's been some infidelities in there, but they found a way to work through that shit. So, what does it take for them to stay in a committed relationship? It just takes hard work, and it takes understanding of each other and what each other's wants and wants are. And it takes a lot of a lot of people, man. Like once they get their significant other, be it a man or the woman, they start to let themselves go and stop doing all the things that it took for them to get there, or stop looking the way they once looked. They just let themselves go. They're like, okay, well, fuck it, I'm committed now, so I'm good. No, that's not the case. A lot of the times it's not the case, but what it takes hard work. Let's see. Why do men have double standards when it comes to the opposite sex friends? Like, they can have female friends, but don't like us to have male friends. Friends only. So, I've honestly dealt with this same issue on the opposite side. Like, I have a lot of female friends. Some of these friends are shit. My sisters, basically, and I used to get that heat too. I would get that heat from a few women that I used to date. But all that boils down to is insecurities. I mean, I'm just gonna tell you what that is. We say, why do men have double standards when it comes to the opposite sex friends? They'll say, both men and women will say, well, I know what, like a man, I'll tell, like if I was in that situation, I was the man, I'm telling my girl, well, hey, I don't want you to have a lot of guy friends, because I know what them dudes is capable of. I know what them dudes is capable of, and I don't want you around that, because it could look whatever. And then for the women, they say the same thing. Well, I know how women are. You know what I mean? Yeah, but at the end of the day, and then I'm just gonna just keep it 1,000 with you. At the end of the day, if he respects you and he trusts you, or she respects you, or she trusts you, then it shouldn't be an issue. So the bottom line is, if they trust you, it shouldn't be an issue. It's only an issue if they don't trust you and if they're insecure with who they are. Any girlfriend that I've ever had, or woman that I've ever talked to, I don't give a damn who they fucking talk, who their friends are. You know, I mean, and that's just as real as it is for me. I don't care. I never will care, because I know I know that it's possible to have friends of the opposite sex and never want to sleep with them, never have slept with them, and just be genuine friends. I know what that looks like. So who the hell am I to tell my significant other that she can't have friends of the opposite sex? That shit is bonkers, is crazy, and it always will be. Now, the thing is, like I said, I mean, at the end of the day, you just got yourself an insecure man. At the end of the day, he's just an insecure dude. And you might want to switch that up, because that's just going to cause problems in the end for your relationship. Let me see. Jesus. Let me see. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to get it. Let me see. Okay. Why do men start something with a woman with no real intentions to be with that woman? Then say it's timing, when before timing wasn't the issue. Why can't they just be real? Motherfuckers just fake. I mean, that's just what it is. A lot of dudes, a lot of women, I mean, they're just gonna go out there and get what they want. Well, let me backtrack, because it could be a few things, but what it usually is, a lot of dudes, man, they get out there, a lot of people, women, they get what they want, be it free food, be it sex, whatever it is that they want, and then they fall back, or they become distant once they get what they want. Or it could be they hung out with you for a few times, or you guys hung out a few times, and they're probably not, they just not rocking with you like that. And that's okay. If that's what the case is, that's okay. Now, I get it. I mean, we're in the ghost era, man. People just ghost you because they don't feel the need to ever have to communicate that with you no more. So they either ghost you, or something I'm guilty of, and that's fading you to black. I'll fade you to black but that's not just women. I mean, that's just relationships in general. I'll just fade you to black. Once I see something that you're doing, or you're doing something, or you're just someone that I've outgrown, period, I'll just start fading you to black, and it is what it is. But when it comes to this relationship thing, yeah, a lot of people, man, you'll think that, you know, shorty is the dopest female in the world, and then once you guys start hanging out, or you guys are hang out for a few times, you really get to see, because a lot of the times, that's why I don't really believe in first impressions, because a lot of the times people will put their best foot forward, and then they'll start fading. You know, you can only front for so long, and then once you stop fronting, once you know the newness wore off, people start being themselves, and then you're like, oh shit, like who the fuck is that person? Like, I don't even know this person. That happens quite often, but you can't take it personal. But that's why I said, like in the beginning, like transparency is everything. So when it comes to being transparent, it's transparency. Be who you are, because that's all you can be. Truly, that's all you can be. You can front, you can lie, you can do all these things all in the beginning, but eventually all that shit is going to come out. So be you. Now, if you're great and he stops fucking with you, or she stops fucking with you after a short period of time, hey, just look at it this way. They did you a favor. Move on. We're not going to sit up here and dwell over, oh, well, I wonder what it was. Forget them. Forget them. Move forward. Go on about your business. Find a dude, find a woman who's going to be truly interested in you. We got to stop wasting our time on people who are just not meant for us. God did you a favor. He removed that person out of your life. If the guy ghosted you, the woman ghosted you, who cares? That means God did you a favor. He wasn't the person for you. Because then a lot of y'all, what y'all do is, the guy that goes to you, the girl that goes to you, then he'll make full, because what's going on is they're entertaining someone else, and then they'll come around full circle. They'll come around once they figure out, oh, this person ain't for me, or shorty or homeboy was actually cooler than this person right now. The person probably just looked better or smelled better. Who knows what the case may be. So they're going to circle back around to you, but it's up to you. I mean, it's up to you to put your foot down and just not go for it. All right. So, like I said, that's the Minority Report. I'm Dre E. Thank you guys for listening. Follow the Instagram, Ask Coach Dre. Ask Coach Dre. That's ASK Coach DRE. That's Dre. That's me. I am King Dre. That's the other handle. Like I said, this whole presentation, this whole Minority Report was brought to you by Andre Quinn Apparel, A-List Elite Styling. All right. Peace and love. Out.